Recording.
As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the end of days, when the watchers came down and raped our women wherever they chose. Giants were born from them, the mighty men of old, men of old. And the giants ruled over men, oppressing them, eating all the food of the land. And when the food was gone, they cannibalized the women and men. Babies and children were not exempt. There was weeping throughout the land. Don't you know they'll be coming back again at the end of days? Take warning, for the time is now. The Nephilim are here, and soon to be released on that unsuspecting world. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the end of days, when the watchers came down and raped our women, never they chose. Giants were born from them, the mighty men of old, men of old. Do not take the mark of the beast, or you shall be tortured day and night before the Lamb. They have no rest at all. They worship the beast, these women and men. Here's the endurance of Yah's Kadeshim. They are keeping Yahuwah's command. Don't you know King Yahusha will return at the end of days? Take courage, for the time is now. It's time to watch and pray, and hope that we might be counted worthy to escape. Take courage, the time is now.
Great, sis. Awesome job. Welcome, everyone. This is Brother Doug. I'm with my sister Shoshana, our sister Sally, and our sister Sadie and her sister Marissa are both on one phone there. And then we got Brother Dennis all the way at the bottom here. So welcome. We're the Awakened by Yahuwah Assembly and Yahuwah Almighty and Yahushua Messiah. We're going to be doing a study today called Abortion is Demonic. And we're going to be reading some scriptures here that show that abortion is literally murder and is against the Father's will. It's against Yahuwah's will to do so. So I'm going to be starting off our study at Isaiah 45:18. I will be reading from the Septuagint here. So here we go. Isaiah 45:18 from the Brenton's English Septuagint says, "Thus saith Yahuwah that made the heaven, this Elohim that created the earth." I kind of like how Septuagint says this Elohim instead of the Masoretic text would just say Elohim that created the earth. So it makes it a little bit more specific. And made it, and he marked it out, and he made it not in vain, but formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahuwah, there is none besides. So that was Isaiah 45:18. So basically the idea is Yahuwah created the earth to be filled, not for it to be empty or void, or for there to be no more inhabitants, no one being born anymore. So that completely exposes the elite's depopulation agenda right there, in my opinion. Sister Shoshana, if you would like to follow me up here and read for us Exodus 21.
Okay, Exodus 21, 22, and 23. "And when men strive, and they shall smite a pregnant woman with her children, and her children come out, yet there is no injury, he shall certainly be punished accordingly to as the woman's husband lays upon him, and he shall pay by the judges. But if there is injury, then you shall give life for life."
Yep, so another brother said the other day, this is where the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth comes in. Our brother Tobiah reminded us the other day, the first instance.
Now that's the next verse. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, lash for lash.
Yep. So pretty self-explanatory. This is part of the Torah here, part of Yahuwah's law. Obviously, this would probably, the context would be of maybe a scuffle between two men, and they injured the woman by mistake, or even a man evil enough to harm a woman. You know, in our modern day, that would be like, you know, a husband that's a drunkard, you know, harming his pregnant wife. You know,
that happens.
You know, so that if you really want to try to put it in today's modern civilization, that could be applied to today with people that have spouses that are sometimes abusive and stuff like that. So, Sister Sally, if you may, please read Psalms 139:13. Let's see here, right here. Oh, I'm sorry, sis. I didn't realize I had you muted. I'm sorry about that.
"For you have formed my inward parts. You have covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O Yah! How great is the sum of them!"
For anyone that doesn't know, this is where we get the Hebrew word golem. I just found this out before we started the recording in verse 16. If you look at unworked substance in the original Hebrew, it's actually golem. So this is where people in the Kabbalah twist this understanding, and they turn it into something that's not of Yahuwah. But golem is just referring to unformed substance, and actually says, if we just go to the e-sword here, it actually says embryo, according to the Strong's. So basically unperfected substance. So basically like the beginning of what Adam was. Let's see here. My substance yet being unperfected. H1564. Golem. A wrapped, unformed mass that is as the embryo. Substance yet being imperfect. So basically when Yahuwah forms us in each one of us, we're formed in our mother's stomach, in her womb. We were at one point, you could say, according to the Hebrew, a golem. We were an embryo that wasn't perfected yet. So that's basically what that means. Unworked substance.
So we were definitely life given by the Creator Yahuwah. And that's the point we want to make today.
Yep.
That
And
a baby is not just a bunch of tissue that can be sucked out of a woman and thrown in the garbage.
yep.
A baby is formed by the Creator Himself. Every baby.
Yep. And we actually start, even when it's an embryo, not even a fully formed baby, it's actually considered a life to the Father. So once an embryo is formed, that's literally another being. It's not the woman. So it's not your life that you're ending. If you choose to have abortion, you're actually
the one who causes the life to begin.
Yep. And I'm about to read one of my favorites that really supports the scriptures being pro-life and showing that each one is a gift from the Father here. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 says, "Before I formed you," so now Jeremiah is being basically Yahuwah is talking to Yirmiyahu here, Jeremiah. And he's saying, "Before I formed you in the belly, in the womb, I knew you." Before we were even formed, the Father knew, who we are, the deepest thoughts that we have, the personality, the person we are. He knew us before we were even an embryo, a golem. "And before you came forth from the womb, I set you apart. I appointed you a prophet to the nations." Now, specifically here, this is talking about the prophet Jeremiah, but we can even apply this to every one of the Father's children, that He knew us before we were even formed in the womb. He appointed us. He set us apart. He kadashed us, to be a prophet to the nations. The way I believe we're all set apart to be a type of prophet to the nations, we're supposed to, spread the glad tidings of Besorah. That's a type of, way we can, apply this. So even though not all of us may have been given the gift of prophecy, but, if we apply this in modern day, showing that the Father knew us way before we were even, fully formed, and He set us apart, the doctrine of election, So that's where we get the phrase chosen ones from, election, the elect. So that's what spoke to me in that verse. Let me see here. How much time we got before we're going to have to do a part 2? Let's see, we got about 6 minutes. Sister Sally, if you could read Psalms chapter 127, verse 3 for us. Here we go.
Behold, children are a heritage from Yahuwah. The fruit of the womb is His reward. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. Happy is the man who has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed.
They're a gift. They're an inheritance from the Father too. You know, they're not something that we should feel burdened by. It's a gift to become a parent. So, and even though I don't have it listed here, if you actually go to the book of Genesis for yourself in chapter 1, one of the first commandments he gives Adam and Kua, commonly mistakenly called Eve in your modern Bibles. Basically, he told Adam and his wife Kua, go and fill the earth. So you have the first commandment was to basically be fruitful and multiply, not to not have children at all. So, you know, so that's just something to think about. Let me see here if we got enough time here. I think we might have enough time for one more. Sister Shoshana, if you please could read Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 12 to 13.
Sure. And it shall be, because you hear these right rulings, and shall guard and do them, that Yahuwah your Elohim shall guard you with you the covenant and the kindness which he swore to your fathers, and shall love you and barak you and increase you, and shall barak the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain and your new wine and your oil, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flock, in the land of which he swore to your fathers to give you. And the first thing he says is he's going to barak the fruit of your womb. And that is your children.
Yeah, what it sounds like is that he's going to barak you from the beginning, you know, even from when, you know, the children are even in the womb. I kind of got an idea of that before they're even born.
Yeah.
So, but let's see here. Do we have enough time? Let's see how much time we got left. 3 minutes.
It's only one verse.
Yeah. Yeah, Sister Sally, if you could end the part 1 for us with Isaiah chapter 49, verse 1.
Coastlands to me, and take heed, you peoples from afar. You who has called me from the womb, from the matrix of my mother, he has made mention of my name.
Called us from the womb.
Interesting. Matrix. Interesting.
That's special. He's looking down upon us. It's a very special relationship.
Where it says inward part.
What were you saying, Sister Sadie?
Right here in my, I'm reading from the King James Study, and it says, from the matrix of my mother, he has made mention of my name. And in the italics it says, inward part. So he made us in the inward part.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the most intimate thing that he could do inside our womb, and that he put it together. And that's deeper than that.
Yeah, we are a special creation. We amount to something. We're here for a reason. We're not evolved, and we didn't come from monkeys. From
No.
the goo to the zoo to you, or however he puts it.
What's interesting too is I noticed what Sister Sally just read. If you look at the Septuagint, instead of my name to be remembered, it actually says that the Father called our name. It says he has called my name, meaning we, I hate to say it again, it goes back to the doctrine of election. It's kind of a little bit showing there. He has called my name. He has called us. So it's kind of interesting.
All from the womb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how the Septuagint's the only one that says called my name. The others will say my name to be remembered. So that's kind of interesting. That's a little difference there. So anyway, we only got about a minute left of this session for part one, everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed this study so far. We will be briefly back very soon to do a part two. Thank you for joining us so far. Hopefully you've got something out of it so far, and please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, and end recording.